Hey guys, in this video, we're going to be attempting to finish the audio system in my MR2 Spyder. Let's quickly go over what I've done so far for the audio system on this car. I've replaced the head unit, the tweeters, added a crossover, and the mid-range speakers. It was still missing something, so today we're going to go for the big guns. The big guns being 2 rear speakers and an amplifier. Let's get into it. Now, if you don't want your project to end up with a bunch of this, I suggest you make a plan of attack for how you're going to finish this project. Now, this project's plan has 3 simple steps. First, we're going to be adding some speakers. Second, we're going to add an amplifier. And lastly, we're going to wire them all together. Step 1, the speakers. This car only came with the door speakers and the tweeters, so we're going to be adding these 6.5-inch mid-range speakers. Unfortunately, there's no spot for that. So what I decided to do, because I didn't want to ruin the back storage compartment of my vehicle, is I cut out a piece of particle board in order to mount these speakers in, and I'm going to fully carpet that, and those are going to sit behind the seats. And yes, I didn't have a measuring tape, so you saw me using a piece of cotton shirt to get the distance right. A little carpeting, gluing, and drilling later, we have what we need. Speakers. You remember those steps I was talking about before? Yeah, it's time for step 2, adding the amplifier. In order to use an amplifier, you need direct power via a thick gauge wire to your amplifier. This one's running along the side of the car, through the side vent, into that back storage compartment. For the love of all that is holy, if you have one of these cars, please check this side drainage. This allows water to drain from that soft top in the vehicle, and if you don't unclog that like I just did, what you're going to have is a bunch of rust, which you'll see right now. I found a good spot to drill, and it's going to go through the side metal and into that side compartment right down there. And as you can see, that's all that rust I was talking about before. Terrible. Once I fished my power wire through that hole that I made in the body, I also found a spot where I wanted to drill through that plastic under part so that I can get to my amplifier. Now, adding an amplifier requires more than just a thick old power cable. It also requires an equally thick, I shouldn't be saying this, an equally thick ground cable that's attached from the amplifier to bare metal. So I made my ground cable, and now I'm finding a spot where I can grind away some of the paint on the metal and attach that ground cable to the chassis. Did I mention that you should disconnect your battery before doing any of this? I think that goes without saying. Disconnect your battery. Let's see if you guys are paying attention. Do you guys remember what step 3 is? Yep, it's connecting the amplifier to the head unit. In order to do this, I will have to take out my seats, I know, boo, and that center console / shift cover / cup holder, whatever you want to call it. Let's go over how this system works and how I messed up by not having a plan. So the way that the car audio system normally works is that your head unit sends a signal to your speakers, and that's how you get music. When you add an amplifier to that, it intercepts that signal and it amplifies it, hence amplifier. It allows you to get more power to those speakers. So I messed up by assuming that my head unit had enough of the signal out, which is using RCA in this case, to go to my amplifier. Unfortunately, it did not. I didn't check the package well enough, so I had to buy something called a line output converter. that changes the speaker wire signals into RCA signal cables, and then that could go into my amplifier. I know it sounds like a lot. I could make a video about it, but I mean, there's a bunch of videos out there on how it works, and those people are a lot smarter than I am. So I would listen to them. This part of the project mainly consists of wiring with the occasional cameo from a cat. So what I'm doing here is the speaker wires coming out of the head unit and into the car. They're getting cut in half. One side is going to my line output converter, going through the whole system. And then the other side is getting the signal wires from the amplifier, and it's going back into the car. So I'm basically just making a longer loop that has all my stuff in the middle of it. I should probably just shut up and let the cat have its moment. This is an overview of like the route that the wiring is going. Right now it only has one RCA cable pair, but it would have two, and it would also have two sets of speaker wires going to the front for the front speakers. Before finishing up the project, I decided to put a little bow on it and got a riveter, I don't know what you call it. But what it does is it adds a threaded insert into a thin piece of material. So it was going into plastic, and I got one of these, pressed in a threaded insert so I can install and uninstall my back speakers, and I can get to that amplifier and all the wiring back there. This is the kind of mess you should be expecting when getting into this without a plan. Have a plan. Once everything's wired up and tested, you can put everything back. I started with, actually blur this, don't look. Let's just skip that part and go to what it looks like at the end. The carpet I chose matches really well with what was already in the car, so it makes it look like an almost factory install. The other thing that I like about this is that it's very easy to remove with just those two Phillips head screws. So if you have a screwdriver or drill like I'm using right here, very easy to remove. And once you do, you can see that I still retain a lot of that storage space back there. I still have space for the toolkit that came with the car, some jumper cables I threw in, and you can see the amp there on the other side with the wiring that goes behind this removable panel. And just for fun, I threw those stock doors that come on that back storage compartment up, just so you can see that I can always put those back in. I still have all the factory spots and where that bolts in. And if I decided to, all I'd have to do is unplug my speakers and take my front panel out, and then I have the exact same spot that I had before. I'm super happy with how this turned out in the end. It looks very nice to me, and I like the way it sounds. I'm gonna be leaving a clip so you guys can hear it for yourself and come to your own conclusions. Thank you guys for watching.